All right, you guys know I get a lot of unique requests, but I got one that I'm going to go ahead and try. It's for a guy that I've made a few knives for. I like the guy. Christian Lyons, Chef Lyons at Christian's Kitchen. You ought to check him out. I hear he's really amazing and his food looks awesome. I'm just not close enough to come and eat, or I would. But I'm going to make a little memento for him, or I'll try to. A 2-inch bladed chef's knife. So this is going to be a real test on me. It is so small, but let's see if we can make a real one. 2-inch blade. Mini chef's knife. All right, guys, we're back on the mini chef's knife. So I annealed it in the forge, let it cool down completely. I pulled it out and I cleaned it up. So there it is. Tiny little bitty chef's knife. So I put a little bitty hole in it right here. Now I'm gonna, just for fun, I'm gonna make this as real as possible. I'm not gonna put a handle on it. I'm gonna let the Damascus shine through. This is actually 95 layers of 1095 and 15 and 20, and it's twisted from here out. So the blade's gonna have a different pattern than the handle. But I kind of like it. I did a test etch and I'm not really going to get it close to the camera so you can see it yet. But I'm going to make this knife. It's actually going to have my touch mark on it. It's going to have a heat treat. It's going to be sharpened. And I'm going to send it to him sharpened. But I did put a little hole in it down here, and that way if he wants to dull it, I would advise it, and put it on his key ring, he can have it on his key ring. Okay, so where we're at now is we've got to get our touch mark on it and get it heat treated. It's so funny. You know what makes this extra funny is I'm working on this and this at the same time. Can you see it all? This is not even as big as it's going to be. I still got to finish forging it, but I'm doing a hog splitter and this at the same time. So let's get a touch mark on it and get it heat treated. All right, we got the mini chef's knife heat treated, got the quench on it. It was rock hard. I tempered it out in the oven just like I would any other knife. Here it is afterwards. You can actually see a little bit of the pattern starting to shine in there. But I think what I'm going to do, it's just so small, I don't even know how to grind it. I think I'm just going to take maybe some 120 on the belt grinder and get my bevels in and thin this edge out just a little bit, and we'll just probably do it all by hand after that. All right, we ground it to 120 and then I just hit it with a conditioning belt, but you can still see it still needs some hand sanding. So I guess that's where we're at. The next question is, it's so tiny I don't know how to hold it. So let me think on this for a minute and we'll start hand sanding it. So I think I got a way to hold it. We'll see. It's really tiny. So I went ahead and sanded on the handle part just a little bit in my knife filing jig, and it worked okay. But here's what I got. So this is a couple of magnets that I found that I just stuck on a handle, and I use them for grinding. They're actually pretty strong magnets. So I'm gonna put them in my vise. I'm gonna take this t-shirt here and cover it so it don't scratch my blade. Ooh, Man, that's a strong magnet. So I'm gonna put that on there just like that. And let's see. It's not bad. Yeah, it's not working very good. We just minimize and go back to our normal setup for a big knife. But I think it's going to work better. So as it turns out, I was worried about everything for nothing. So what I did was I put my blade in my knife filing vise the way I normally would, and I polished my handle, okay? Well, then I tried the magnet, and it worked. It just was sliding a little bit, wasn't good and solid. So I just went back to what I originally do. I clamped this and worked this tiny little thing, but I got it polished out up to 400, I believe. But we're going to go ahead and do an etch on it and polish it up again and probably do a second etch on it. But this is what we've been waiting on. So see if we can get it to focus. I got one little pit right there I'm not real concerned with, but let's get it etched. All right, here it is, the mini chef's knife. So hold it up here and try to get you where you can see it. So it's 95 layers with a twisted pattern on the blade but not on the handle, which means I ended the twist right here. And you see the pattern in the layers. Yes, it's got my touch mark. This thing has been heat treated, it has been tempered, it has been polished, it has been etched, and it is ready for its final sharpening. It's pretty sharp right now, but it's ready for its final sharpening. But there you go, 95 layer mini chef's knife. Let's see what's next.